is just gone midnight after we had our heat wave, in which unfortunately we lost a few monkeys. So we do have people down in sick bay just looking after Squeezy and Hardy. So we're doing 2-hour shifts on them overnight, and we've just received these two girls. They've been travelling from the northwest, so we're not 100% sure on the story. John, one of the local team, brought them up, so I'm not sure if they were dropped off, obviously, because they live on site. So we're going to give them a quick health check, get them microchipped and put them into the crash cage. Seem like they could be 1 or 2 year olds, we're not 100% sure yet.
These two juveniles arrived in the middle of the night. They were confiscated by Nature Conservation in the Northwest Province. We're not too sure of their full story, but somebody was keeping them, or had been keeping them as pets, almost for about 2 years, I think. So they both should be about 2 years of age. Northwest Province is a good 9-10 hour drive from us, so they only arrived here late in the middle of the night, while all the rest of the drama was going on with the heat wave. Everything was full, lots of monkeys around. It wasn't really the time to actually receive another two, but you can't choose these things. So this is their little story, because it's very difficult to get juveniles integrated into a troop, but we've got to see what we can do and get them into quarantine as soon as possible. They don't really look too taken back about the situation, not scoffing down food, so you can see the difference between an animal that's sort of been a pet for a long period of time. Food is never really their concern, because they're always getting some, so they'll just eat at their leisure. But they seem to be fairly comfortable as they are at the moment.
Alright, so these are our newest arrivals for juveniles. We've just had a couple of babies come in, but these two arrived a few days ago. We just haven't had a chance to move them up to quarantine. Just busy season is busy, so we finally got a bit of time, so me and Brendan are going to move them up, and they will be in a separate cage from the other two that we already had, Zuzu and Friend. So these two, it's a little boy and a little girl. They look like 2-year-olds. So they also need names, so if you're watching this on the mighty YouTube and you'd like to name a couple of monkeys, please do get in touch. But yeah, anyway, let's get them moved up. Navigate the bumps. Alright, we're moving. Alright, we've got them up. Brendan is going to release them into their brand new cage.
So of course we do have to be a little bit careful, because we're not too sure of the behavior of these little ones, or if they bite or they don't bite. And 2-year-olds do have fairly big teeth, but these two seem to be a little bit scared of their new environment and might need a little bit of coaxing to come out. Well, it's been like a day or two now that they've actually been inside quarantine, and of course we've got to keep the enclosure and everything like this clean. So Mark's going to pop in, just make sure it gets all cleaned up. So it is part of the whole quarantine procedure, which does put a lot more pressure onto us. This is why sometimes people don't understand it's difficult for us to take in larger monkeys, especially during the baby season period. as we've got to still concentrate on trying to get the little ones to foster moms, and then we need a special team just for quarantine to make sure they keep the quarantine area clean, make sure there's no illnesses in these little ones that have arrived, make sure they've got special care. So it does take 2 or more staff members away from helping with the little orphans coming in, and especially at this time of year when we've got a low number of volunteers or help, it puts a lot more pressure on everybody at the foundation. So Mark really doing quite a thorough job there. Fortunately, these 2 are a little bit scared of us and are hiding up in the top of the enclosure, so it does make life a little bit easier. They're not moving around, making it possible to get everything clean and sorted. We do spray a special disinfectant on the enclosure as well, so this is basically done on a daily basis. So as you can imagine, it is quite a time-consuming process. Well, of course, you can see as soon as the food sort of comes down, these 2 are down there to inspect and see what they've been given. We don't know what they were actually being fed before, but they're certainly enjoying the food that's been given to them now. So a lot happier. They're going to stay here for a couple of weeks, and then of course we're going to have to try and move them to closer to one of the enclosures so they can slowly get accustomed to some of the other monkeys that are there, and even their observations has to be done to make sure there's no fighting or anything between them and the enclosure.
So this is day 2 of the new juvies in quarantine, and this is the little 1-year-old who's a bit more confident than the older one who's up hiding. Oh, there she comes now, just coming down. I've had to sit here quite quietly as I've just been in cleaning the cage and putting the food in. So they are, as of now, unnamed. So it's a little 1-year-old and a 2-year-old female, and they only just met each other yesterday. We just put them straight together, as when they're quite young, they usually go together quite easily, and of course there's not really a lot of danger. They can't do too much damage to each other if they did fight. They're both very good-natured. Let's say this little one, she's very cute. But I can't get too close to the cage, or else they just run back up to the perch and hide behind the blanket. But so far they're doing great. They look healthy, they've got a good appetite. Their stools are a little soft, but that can just be them getting used to the new food, new environment, things like this, a bit of stress. So they'll be here for about 3.5 weeks. It's usually 4, but they did spend a couple of days in sick bay after arrival and started their quarantine there as we didn't have any other monkeys in sick bay.
Well, you can see they're certainly in very, very nicely, getting accustomed to us. Quarantine is actually quite a nice area because they can see other monkeys further around, and sometimes the bandits come and sit out around on the edges and basically look in. So it does give them a chance from a distance to basically hear and see the other monkeys on the foundation or around the foundation. Actually, feeding time is important time for all of the monkeys, and these guys do get a nice little meal. There's a lot of sprouts and things like this just to get their systems healthy, just in case there's anything. During this time we are taking fecal samples and things like that, just to make sure they haven't got any parasites or anything. But yeah, it seems to be going very well with these two. They love the food, they're not really scared of everyone, they settle down quite a bit, so we are able to get closer to the cage without them running away, and soon the process of moving them to one of the enclosures is going to start. So this gives a fairly good look of what our quarantine looks like. We've got these smaller cages all lined up so we can put a few monkeys in at a time. This is isolated from the rest of the foundation so that we can monitor and see what's going on, just in case there is anything that these monkeys are carrying that they might bring it in, that they don't carry it onto our resident animals. So Mark's busy bringing in the crush cage. We're going to try and trap these two now, and they'll actually be moved closer to one of the troops that they're going to be integrated into.
So we've just moved one crush cage up, a trap cage, and we're up in quarantine. And of course here we have Zuzu and Angel, and in the first cage on the left is Claire and Ace. So thank you so much everyone for the names, and it's good to get them named before they move to their longer term homes. Of course this is just a 4-week quarantine zone. They've completed it, so now Zuzu and Angel will move to Sav intro cage, which we've been busy preparing, and Claire and Ace will go to a Goliath intro cage. So I'm just going to set up some traps here and leave everything up here, and in a couple of hours, second shift, we're going to trap and move them. So I'm just going to get everything ready to go so we can get it done pretty quick. Alright, so monkeys trapped. The first we're going to move is Claire and Ace, and they're going to go up to Goliath D, and Brendan's going to keep an eye on them. Alright, let's get them up there. It's just round the corner, so yeah, not too far to go. Alright.
Okay.
So same as before, you just need to set it just inside and then you can tip it up. Yeah. Alright, we've got them up and they are ready to go. Dimitri's going to do the honors. might need to move.
Yeah.
You might need to go inside.
Yeah, I may need to set them. Ah, here they come.
Alright. This is their new home. It's a brand new refurbished cage. Already got some attention from the troop. Alright, good job guys. Brandon will leave you here with them. Just make
We have Ace and Claire interacting with. We have Nugget at the fence on the middle, Kiki on the left, and I can't see who's on the right. Might be Mandy.
So introducing 1 or 2 year olds is quite a process, but what's so cute here is look how she's got her arm around her friend, giving her support and encouragement and everything, and the two of them are basically sticking together and supporting each other. So it just goes to show there's a lot of care, love and devotion in these monkeys. They do worry a bit about each other, they do have feelings for each other. So even though there's fighting between different troops, which is a natural thing, within their community there's very, very strong bonds of protection and looking after each other. So this is going to take a while for the troop to actually get used to these two, but hopefully it's not too long. It's even more difficult with females, as males migrate after every 4 years. Females are very set in their ways and never leave their troop, so more difficult to actually introduce them.
Alright, it's now Zuzu and Angel's turn, and we are here at Sav. Nice big cage for these two. Might take these two a while to realise. Zuzu's the first. Nope, back in again. Angel is the first. Maybe if you move to the side a little bit.
Yeah, nice. Just kind of feel this and closing there we go.
You can make a quick escape. Alright. So both pairs of quarantine monkeys moved to their new homes. And of course hopefully once they've settled down they can eventually, we can integrate them into the troop. That is the goal as they're quite young.
So here we have our new baby arrival. So baby number 17 came from Hoedspruit. Do we know the story?
Might been handed around, went to a vet's, but we'll take him in before we get him out. How was he in the car?
It was quite vocal
Okay.
the whole way.
Okay, so we will just go. You're not too warm, which is good. You look like a Perry. You do. Yeah, definitely a boy. We do have some dried blood on us, on our leg, and on our hands, I think, looking at the photos. Hi. Not dehydrated. Not very dehydrated anyway. Have a look at your teeth. Hi. Okay, we got 8 teeth. Probably around 4 or 5 weeks old then. Seems nice and unharmed. Blood is probably from mum. If mum got a shot or was in a car accident, something. I'll try and get some more information from Dave and get that one washed off. Hi. It's okay. Yeah? You hungry? I'll give you some rehi? Yeah? So he's just had 7 ml rehi via syringe, so now we are just going to weigh him. So the scale already has the blanket included in the weight, so whatever he weighs be there. I say around 4 weeks old. He seems healthy enough. A little bit tired. Yeah, we can see. So we'll just pop him out. $358. So yeah, we'll put him around 4 weeks. And then we'll take his temperature. He doesn't feel too hot, especially as he's been in the car. But I imagine the car was nice and cool, so we'll take his temperature and see what that is. And just make sure it's not either too hot or too cold. Baby 17 is not very happy, as you can hear. Very understandable. He's lost his mum. He's lost everything, and he's come here and he's confused and he's scared. He has had 15 ml milk as well as some rehi, and now we just have to let him heal. It's okay. Hey? Overly fond, as you can tell, of people.
We have baby 17. He's eating some apples and sweet potatoes.
So baby boy 17 eventually got called Rainbow. He was about 4 weeks old. He's got 8 teeth, so he can chew and eat quite well. He was involved in a motor vehicle accident, or his mom was involved in a motor vehicle accident, and she was unfortunately killed. Some of you might remember the town Hoedspruit where we go to. Well, this is a little bit further along from there, where the mom was hit and taken to one of the local vets, who kindly informed us, and fortunately we had somebody in the area, Marius, who could bring the little baby through to us that day. So this is little Rainbow, weighing in at 358 grams, so not such a bad weight. He seems very healthy in all ways otherwise, and as you can see, he's got a fairly good appetite. One of the bandit babies has sort of spotted this little one and showing a bit of interest, but of course mom's got other ideas and other things to do, so won't be this time. Maybe they'll meet up again a little bit later.
This is baby number 17, who is taking a big nap while it's finally starting raining outside, bringing some freshness. It's mango season and baby 17 is enjoying it.
So mangoes certainly seem to be one of the favorites for this little one. I must admit the mangoes are quite tasty here in South Africa, and he's really enjoying them.
It's baby 17.
As you can see, little Rainbow is getting around very, very well. Enjoys some of the local forage. He finds stuff very, very easily. He doesn't seem too scared. Every now and again he has been calling for his mom, which is a little bit heartbreaking, but otherwise doing extremely well in being able to climb and get around.
Baby number 17, little Rainbow. Rainbow is going to be joining Disneyland now, which is really exciting. So he's finished up his quarantine. He's going to go join Miri, Billy, Cherie and Unalai in Disneyland. He has been quite upset, obviously, since he's been here, because we've quarantined him by himself. So we're really excited for him to go and meet other monkeys.
Rainbow on the left, having his last morning cuddles with the babies before he joins the others down at the skunky foster mums. He doesn't know it yet, but he's got a big day ahead of him. So good he's had a nap and a drink.
So little Rainbow doing extremely well at this point, and the decision has been made for him to join the others to meet foster moms as quickly as possible. So we'll see how things are going to go with him.
With little Rainbow. So Rainbow is doing really well. Is he taking a nap? On his feeding cage journey, which means that we would like to move him to Skunky to see if he will be ready to meet foster mums in the near future, with Sassafras and Perry or as the next group. So just because he is ahead of some of the babies in Disneyland at the moment who are difficult drinkers, we have decided to bring him into here. So Mazakin has come over to say hello. Perry is also looking like he might say hello, whereas the girls up here, Sassafras and Brigitta, don't want to say hello to the new one at the moment anyway. Oh no, Brigitta is coming. There she is. You can just see her tail. I'm gonna let you out, little Rainbow. So it'll be 2 boys and 3 girls in here now. Mazakin giving him a very nice welcome cuddle. Perry also going up to say hello. Brigitta is more interested in forage. So that's Perry on the top, Mazakin up at Perry, and Rainbow just at the back there. Can I put the crate down, darling?
Rainbow showing some interest in the general forage, but he still really does love his mangoes. I wonder if he probably got a chance to taste them where he was found, because it is a big mango area, and maybe it just reminds him a little bit of his family at home. Have you seen my mom? Little Rainbow staring at some of the bigger adults. One just wonders what's going through this little one's mind. He seems to be a little bit of a loner, keeping to himself and everything, but interested in the moms or the foster moms coming to have a look. It's not like really jumping out of his way or scared or anything from them. It is like he's wondering in his mind if they have seen his family or anything like this anywhere. So it must be hard for these little ones, especially that he hasn't been away from the wild troop for such a long time. The moms do seem interested in him, so I do hope it's something that he's going to get a loving mom very, very shortly. They're definitely showing a little bit of interest in him and wanting to touch them, and as you can see, he doesn't seem to be too frightened of them at all. Still eating his food and everything, and just having a look around, but not much interaction with the other babies at the moment. Seems to be, as I say, keeping a lot to himself, but this might also be attractive to the foster moms. Well, it's certainly been a real challenging time with everything seeming to happen all at once. But that's what it's like at a sanctuary. You just never know what's going to happen from one day to another. And that's why we're so grateful that we have got such a fantastic team of people out here dedicating themselves to looking after these animals and willing to stand up at any time and face the challenge and just make sure that these animals are safe, happy and healthy, and they get their second chance. And this period was certainly no different. With monkeys arriving in the middle of the night, babies just arriving at any time, trying to get them all out and comfortable and get them back out into troops so that they can live a normal life. So thank you for everybody, our volunteers, our long-term staff, everybody out there that's helping, putting time in to make a difference. Those people that are donating, please don't stop. Encourage others to donate where we can. We really need the finances. Thank you again, everybody, for what you're doing, for watching, and we'll see you all again next week.